everybody. So good to be here with you. This is Lydia at the Athletic Club. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and enjoying some of these awesome videos we're loading up for you. This is 20 minutes, and what I'm going to do is walk you through how I wake up and flow. So this is what I do over the 6 or 7 years that I've practiced yoga, how I've found that it nurtures me the most. What I do in order to kind of work out the spaces in my body, the tension, so that I feel like I can start the day without carrying anything extra in my body. And that's really what I feel like is the true benefit of yoga. Going to classes, learning new stretches, that is awesome and so important. But equally so is having your own practice and knowing how to nurture your body and listen to your needs, okay? So what I usually do if I'm just getting on my mat first thing in the morning or even after a hard day, back when I used to go to work, what I do is I usually start standing and I just start to kind of feel out what's going on with my body. For me, it's normal to have tension in my neck. It's normal to need some good circles in my shoulders. So you guys can just try this out and be attentive to what is useful for you and what maybe not so much, maybe is not an essential pose for you. A lot of times I have sore feet or ankles, so I'll just circle out my feet, my ankles, maybe my wrists and my hands too. And I just kind of get my wiggles out. I like to do these tie twists, knees slightly bent, moving from side to side. It's always good before you do any sort of purifying activity, whether it's drawing, art, dance, yoga, to just get the wiggles out. It's really important. We'll inhale, arms up. I usually like to open my throat here, and then I'll fold over. Depending on the day, my knees may be straight or they may be bent, but generally they're going to be bent. That's just my anatomy, so you can play around with that, find what's best for you. I like to take a couple deep breaths here, especially letting the back of my neck be long. So I'm noticing here that there's some tension in my feet. I'm noticing that my back is really enjoying this, so I probably need to do some more back stretching in my sequence today. And then I'm noticing that my temples, my head is aching a little bit, probably from the pollen. So I'll just give myself a little temple massage while I'm hanging here. And then I'll inhale, come back up. And drop the right arm back behind my body, right tricep stretch. Open the arms back up, stretch the other way. I'm feeling a need to create more space in my shoulders. And over time, as you practice, you'll be more in tune with what your body needs and not. Sometimes you're just get on the mat and you're like, I don't know. And that's okay. It's all part of the journey. And then we'll just fold back over. I like to walk it back into a plank. You can always have plank with knees down. So I just start to activate my strength here, pushing the ground away. And then maybe I'll shift forward and back. Because as I was saying, my feet were kind of feeling a little bit tense. And so that helps stretch them out. And then I'll drop my knees down, untuck my toes, and push back into a child's. Some days I need to get on my mat and I need to go. And I need it to be intense. I need to jump straight into some sun salutations. But some days I need to take it slow and be gentle with myself. Usually depends on what kind of work, how much exercise, or what kind of exercise I've been getting. And then one of my favorite transitions is from child's pose to downward facing dog. So I push into my palms, tuck my toes under, lift my hips up and back to my downward facing dog. I have to say, downward facing dog is a must for me. If I get on my mat, there's going to be a dog. But if you have shoulder or wrist issues, it may not be a staple for you. And then we'll shift forward into plank and lower onto our belly. Untuck the toes, pull the shoulders onto the back, hug the elbows in for cobra. So this is where you can pay attention. Is my lower back okay? Am I lifting up too high? Am I holding my neck too tense? And then we'll release back down. Forehead touches the earth. And push back to your child's pose. So what do you need in your child's pose? Do you need knees together to stretch your back more? Do you need knees wide to get into the hips? Since my back is feeling pretty tight, I'm definitely going to keep my knees together. And then I'll walk my hands off the left side, pushing the right palm on top of the left. So my goal when I get on my mat for this sort of practice is not exercise. It's not achieving a certain goal. It's about coming home to myself. It's about listening to my body and being able to wring out whatever is holding me back so I can start again with a clean slate. Let's walk the hands back to center and off the right side, left palm on top of right. It's about communicating with my body. A lot of times you'll notice if you've been drinking a lot of alcohol or smoking or eating a lot of junk food, when you do your yoga practice, you'll feel that it just doesn't sit right with you. And I want you to know that that's totally normal. It's still okay to do all of those things, but your yoga is just pointing out to you the way it impacts your body and your system. Let's walk the hands back to center. We're going to pull through to the belly again. Especially if I'm having stomach problems, just any poses on my belly can be really helpful and reassuring, putting a little pressure on my digestive system. Pull the shoulders back, hug the elbows in, lift up to your cobra again, and then we'll lower back down. I like to tuck my toes under here, push the ground away, and lift straight into a plank. And then hips up and back for your downward facing dog. One of my favorite ways to heat up my body is to move from dog to plank. Forward and back. You can take this with your knees down if you need to. You can take it fast or slow. This reminds me to keep my core active. Reminds me to keep pushing the ground away, fighting gravity, which makes me stronger. And it just makes me feel really supple in my shoulders, wrists, and ankles. That's why I enjoy this. An essential element of your home yoga practice is that good, nourishing, deep breath. It's really essential for any yoga practice. But when you're really trying to center yourself and you're not focusing on exercise or achieving certain poses, you're just focusing on being in the pose, those breaths can really help you go on that journey. So back to our downward facing dog. We're going to lift the right leg up. Bend the knee and open the hip, pulling the heel back toward the glute. Push the ground away with the hands and let the head hang down. And then we're going to shift forward, pull that right knee towards the chest, set the right foot between the hands. So my legs are strong here. I'm pushing the ground away, but I'm going to keep my left arm down, my left hand down, maybe on a book or anything that you can get, a block, and then I'm going to turn my torso to the right and reach my right arm up. So this is good for me today because I can feel that stretch all the way from the base of my skull down to my tailbone. All those back muscles that I'm listening to today, they're letting me know that this is what they need. So listen to your body, tune into what it's telling you that you need. And I'm going to set that hand back down. Take my right foot back for plank, shift forward on my toes, lower down to my belly. Untuck my toes, pull my shoulders up, look up, and then fold back down. Forehead touches, and then I'm going to go straight back to my downward facing dog. From here, you're going to reach your left leg up, bend your knee, open the hip, pulling the heel toward the glute. Push the ground away with the hands. Let your head sink down. And then come forward, pull the left knee toward the chest, set the left foot down. Legs are strong, hips are square. Right hand is down, left arm comes up. Look up, feeling that stretch down the length of the spine. Wherever you are, whatever pose you're in, the main goal is to be present there, to observe the changes it makes in your body, and to respond to it. Do you need to release into it and become softer? Are there parts of you that need to be stronger there? It's a long, beautiful journey of learning about your body through these poses. Left hand comes down. Find your plank. And then I feel like dropping my knees and finding my way back to child's pose. When you're doing your home practice, you have that right. Whatever pose you feel like taking or not feel like taking, that's what you do. That's also a perk to a video class. Nobody knows. You do whatever works for you. Maybe you'll take your forehead down and your hands back by your heels, letting the space between your shoulder blades open up even more. And then one of the, or a couple of the poses that I don't teach very often coming up to sit on your heels, because I feel like people overdo it. People go too deep into swan pose and it puts too much pressure on their lower back, but I'm going to teach it to you here because it's a staple for my home practice. But what I do is I tuck my toes under, open my knees to either side, so I'm in this low extended squat. Not really extended, just low squat with your arms reached forward. So I love the way this feels for me. And then I shift forward, bring my knees together, set them down, walk my hands forward till I'm on my fists, and then gently lower my hips, looking forward, lifting the chest up. So I see a lot of people just dump their hips here, and that concerns me because I feel like we're not too careful enough with our lower back. But then I rock back, tuck the toes under, widen out the knees, and find that squat. And then I'll come forward, knees together and down. Come onto your knuckles. Find that gentle back bend, swan pose. And then this time I'm just going to take it back to a child's pose. Big breath into the back body. Exhale, sinking down. It's important for me personally to feel a lot of grounding in my practice at home. Some people need more balance. They need more poses that make them feel like they're flying. Tuck your toes under, push into the earth with your palms, downward facing dog. So this time I'm going to lift my right leg up again, but not bend the knee. And I'm going to shift forward, set that foot between the hands, setting my left heel down, heel to arch alignment, hips open, and I'm going to find my Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Look over your right arm. And then I'm going to reverse my warrior left arm down, right arm up. I'm reaching my left arm around behind me until it comes to the top of my right thigh. And then you're going to tee your arms out again. Look over the right arm. Then I like to take my right forearm to my right top thigh, left arm up and over, look up. And I'm literally just doing what feels good for me here. That's a home practice. Come back up, tee the arms. We're going to turn the feet in the same direction. Interlace the fingers at the base of the spine, maybe using a towel, strap, or shirt. Pull the hands down to open the front of the shoulders. Bend the knees slightly, fold over if that's available for you. And then whenever it feels appropriate for you, just release the arms. And I'm going to walk my hands over to the left side, turn my left toes to the front of the mat, line up my right arch with my left heel, and make sure my left knee is over my left ankle, then swinging the arms up for my Warrior 2 on the other side. Look over the left arm. You're going to drop the right arm, Maybe reach it around till you reach the top of your left thigh, left arm up and over for your reverse warrior. Tee the arms back out. Take left forearm to the top of the left thigh, reach the right arm up and over, look up. Side angle variation. Coming back up. I'm going to turn the feet back to the front and fold between the legs. I'm feeling a little need to open my hips a little bit, so I'm just going to squat to the right, keeping my torso low to the ground. The distance from the earth for everyone is different here. Everyone has a different level of flexibility in their hips. Remember, this is your home practice. So you're listening to your body, back to center, drop to the other side, and you're finding what you need. And that isn't relative at all to what anyone else needs in their home practice. And then we're going to come back to center, and this time we're just going to take a seat. Plant your feet down. This is a pose I really like, especially if I've been sitting a lot or working at my desk. Feet are hip width apart, hands on the shins. Just take a couple rounds of seated cat and cow. Opening the knees out, pulling the heart through for cow. Exhaling, rounding the spine, drop the chin for cat. Forward and back. And then you may want to take a couple bridge poses here. My favorite heart opener that I like to take before I cool down is reverse table. So I like to bring my heels close to my hips, palms down with fingertips towards the hips, and then I push into the ground, lift the hips up, hug the shoulders together, maybe drop the head back. If that's too much for you, bridge is a great option. I encourage you to always have some sort of heart opener in your home practice, because we all need to work on vulnerability and being open to the human experience. And then we'll lower our hips down, hug the knees into the chest, and roll back to your back. Another really vulnerable pose that I think we all need on a daily or semi-daily basis is happy baby, where we open our knees out wide, feet up towards the sky, grabbing big toes, outer edge of the foot, or shins with the hands, pushing the tailbone down, and maybe rocking from side to side. Lots of room for variation here, but again, this is one of those poses that makes you soft, vulnerable, and childlike. We definitely need more of that in our world. So then you'll stay here. I like to take a shoulder stand sometimes. Sometimes I throw in some handstands. But we're going to wrap up today finding a resting pose. I like to take my bolster or blanket the length of my spine and lay back over it, feet together and knees wide. But you take whatever variation of Savasana, corpse pose, is most appropriate for you. And you're going to take about the next 30 to 45 seconds. Eyes closed, fully relaxing. I'm going to read to you from Glennon Doyle Melton's new book, Untamed. And you can just absorb those words as you're resting against the earth. Part of having a home practice is about accepting yourself and your own humanity and wherever you are on any given day. So Glennon says, when I think about my own human experience, what honest people have told me about their human experiences, and the experiences of every historical and contemporary human being I've ever studied, we all seem to function in the exact same way. We hurt people and we are hurt by people. We feel left out, envious, not good enough, sick, and tired. We have unrealized dreams and deep regrets. We are certain that we are meant for more and that we don't even deserve what we have. We feel ecstatic and then numb. We are so afraid of dying, also of living. We have fallen in love and out of love, and people have fallen in love and out of love with us. We live with rage bubbling. We are sweaty, bloated, gassy, oily. We are at war with our bodies, our minds, our souls. We believe, we absolutely do not believe. We want to be left alone, and we want to belong. We want to be loved. We want to be loved. We want to be loved. So part of your home practice is finding that love for yourself by coming in touch with your body, taking the time and space that you need in order to nourish your own wellness. When you're ready, you'll just slowly wake yourself up or stay in Savasana longer if that's what you need. Sometimes the best home practice is just a long, good Savasana. But we'll push up to a seated pose if you want to finish with me. Sukhasana, easy seated pose, spine long. Reaching the arms up overhead, we'll exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you guys for joining me. May you be blessed on your journey of establishing your own home practice. May you feel deeply connected to your body, to the earth, and to every yogi, from my heart to yours. Namaste.